Bang! Yeah, 713, don't step in this league, throwing rocks at the backboard. Living our dream, better dribble to the three, take the shot, here a cash draw. And we don't even care what you say, we ain't scared of the hate, get a win in this last board. Stand in the paint, better clear out the way, hit the court with the black force energy. Every single week on a killing spree, you kidding me? You talk about winning with the epitome, you better be talking with peace and we locking the key on them. Know that it's rocking with Ryan and Donte, the drip guy with beyond the gossip, the topics we talk on a pop, and we conquering the obstacles that we cross as a team. Shot from the seats, we the Rockets like Elon. It's the H-Town Rundown. Let's get started right now.
Hey guys, we're back on another Friday afternoon here. As per usual, I got my boy Ryan, man. It's good to have him back on once again. I got my boy Donte as per usual. And then, of course, none other than our boy. He is back once again to join us.
Sir.
Sir Lachard, bro. What's good, brother? What's good? Let's start with Lachard and just kind of go all the way around back through. Plug yourself in, man, and give us an update. What's good?
Nothing much. Like I say, I'm Lachard, Binkley. I write for Rockets on SI, which is part of Sports Illustrated. I've been credentialed for the last 3 years. I've been covering the Rockets actually professionally since 2019. Like I said, I just moved over to Sports Illustrated. I was writing for SB Nation, Dream Shake for a few years. So I'm happy to be part of the Sports Illustrated family. And it's already been a very interesting season, 5 games in. So definitely looking forward to talking about some Rockets and hopefully another Rockets win tomorrow. That'll be nice to finally be Golden State for the first time in probably like 10 years or something crazy.
It's like 2019, boy.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, we are hunting that win for sure, and I'm excited to see Tara Eason against Golden State. I want to see them play outside of the show. But again, thanks for joining us, man. Hey, Donte, bro, as per usual, you're here with me, man. What's good? What's new? And how hyped are you to talk about these wins?
Man, I'm hyped, man. Anytime we beat an arch rival in San Antonio, which is always hard to beat down there in San Antonio, and then beat Dallas, who's like one of the top tier teams in the Western Conference, going in Dallas and beating them and winning a close game, man. That it always feels good as Rockets fans to beat our arch rivals and then beat Memphis, man. Basically beat the teams in our division. It just really feels good to go out there and see our Rockets go out there and compete and win games.
Absolutely, you couldn't have said it any better. And obviously, we're saving the best for last with Ryan, bro. Plug yourself in, man, and what's good? How are you?
Finally another weekend, ready to just relax. It's Halloween, or I guess it was Halloween yesterday, but put out the game recap for Rockets on Sports Illustrated last night against the Mavericks, so go check that out. You already know it's good.
Absolutely, that's our boy. This is the team for the day. Shout out our boy King Beard down here. We all pop out, all 3 of us and more pop out on the Rockets and Ramen, so be sure to check that out. But today we got to talk about a couple things here. Now, obviously, unfortunately, we're not going to talk about the loss, right? We're just going to kind of ignore that. We're going to jump right to the fun parts of the season. And we're 3-2 right now for the season. And we ended up beating the Spurs on a couple days ago, right? He said no Curry Saturday. We hoping. But yeah, so we ended up beating the Spurs. Go ahead.
Quickly.
Yeah.
About the Warriors on Saturday. No Klay Thompson, no Rockets killer. We beat Klay Thompson last night. We should win. Finally.
Hey, I'm not over one more before we get off, and I'm not overlooking them because they beat the hell out the Pelicans the other night.
But I'm just so Golden State, bro.
Yeah, I can't just mark that a win. Just mark that off like that, yo. Wow.
Yeah, we gonna find out what it is, but hopefully we can run them boys out of the gym of the show. But yeah, we ended up winning and beating the Spurs 106-101 in a huge win on the back. And I know that boy's back is hurt right now. Jalen Green, 36 points. There was a lot to like and a lot not to like. Dylan Brooks hit this, this fadeaway. I went to go look at his stats to see how he was that confident, and boy was shooting 2 of 9, shooting fadeaways on Wemby in the paint. Dylan Brooks, bro, I'm glad you were hitting the shot, but damn, boy, I don't know anyone as confident as him when he's hot and he's angry. But Lachard, man, I want your thoughts on the game real quick and kind of give us some inside thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, you kind of expected the Rockets to come out, especially after losing that previous game that we're not going to talk about. I mean, you kind of expected them to come out and play hard, especially, with Jeremy Sohan and all the stuff he was talking before the first game, and you kind of saw at the end of that game that Fred VanVleet, even though he won't tell anybody what he said, we kind of imagine what he said to him. But you can already tell that the Rockets definitely took that personally. I know they said they don't pay attention to that stuff, but we all know how this works, especially this day and age. Everybody is on Twitter, everybody's on social media. So they knew exactly what he said, and they knew exactly how important that game was, even though it's the start of the year, because I mean, the West is going to be tough this entire year, and the Rockets trying to get in the playoffs. They can't let games like Charlotte happen too often. They have to win these games, especially against teams that are better. They're better than San Antonio. They should absolutely win that game, and just kind of see Jalen Green just, he has become the best player on this team. I don't think a lot of people were expecting that coming into the year. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. I know Şengün going against Wembanyama. I mean, I wasn't shocked that he struggled a little bit, but that's just something to kind of keep your eye on as the season go on, that we started kind of seeing a pecking order of who's going to be the top guy and who's going to be the role players when it comes to this team.
Absolutely. And kind of adding on to that before we get on to the next guy here, it's interesting with like this Ime-led offense. You got a guy who's still averaging 28 a game right now, 27 points per 6 in Jalen, and he's taken 21 and a half shots a game. There's an interesting shot hierarchy right now that I don't think I was expecting to see, not just with like the player taking that many shots. I mean, I expected him to take maybe on the side of like 14 to 16 and Şengün to be taking 18, maybe 19. But right now, early in the season, Jalen taking over 20 a game, and half of those right now, 11 of those are coming from three, shooting efficiently as it is. There's more glaze to come at the end of this. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But Donte, bro, give me your thoughts on that Spurs game real quick, and maybe touch up on how Şengün's been playing. I mean, he only played 26 minutes in that game, shot 5-14, 36%. Is it something to be careful for in Şengün?
I think he's gonna have his struggles against taller centers. When Wemby you shouldn't be frustrated at Wemby, that he struggled against Wemby. Again, we banking off the success that he had against him last year. But Wemby, he's not big, he's not strong, but he's tall. He has a lot of length, and he affects a lot of shots in the paint. So it's not a conclusion that he did struggle against. I think Şengün is going to be fine. I'm not too worried. It's early in the season, it's only 5 games in. Not too worried about it. He's going to come on strong later. He's going to get hot eventually. But I thought Jabari Smith had a great game in this game. The corner shot was huge that he hit in the corner. Yep. That was a big time shot that he hit. Again, Dylan Brooks' ball pressure. I thought his ball pressure was really good. I thought the defense intensity was really good early on in the game. We set the tone. We forced, I believe, 7. We finally won the turn. We kept our turnovers to 12, and we finally won a game. When we finally won the turnover battle. The last 2 games that we lost against Charlotte, we won the turnover battle, but we lost. We finally won a game that we won the turnover battle, and we won. But I thought our defense was really huge. Tariq played defense was really good. Şengün struggling with defense a little bit on the perimeter. He hasn't having a little struggle. That's part of why Ime is taking him out and putting small ball like Amen Thompson in to able to switch the matchup a little bit. And again, for this team to reach the level I think it could reach, Jalen Green has just been phenomenal, man. If you see the shots that he was making, this guy was on fire all night, and he brought it home. And the pass at the end of the game to Fred VanVleet right there on the dime, right there in the rhythm, catch and shoot rhythm, he just knocked it down. But Jabari Smith had a great game. I thought that corner 3 really kind of boosted the momentum back in the Rockets' favor.
Yeah, that was Bari was nice to see hitting some shots in that game, especially big, important shots. And then I think he had a couple free throws in this game, if I'm not mistaken, that were clutch to kind of make up for the missed free throws and shot that against the Spurs in the other loss, right? I think that cancels each other out, the way he was able to take those, regardless of what it looks like on the stat sheet. But I will say, despite some of the things we had been seeing, we had been asking Jalen last season to be able to drive and make the smart pass, right? Drive and shoot, drive and kick. Guess what he did this game? He didn't have necessarily a lot of assists. Guys weren't necessarily making shots. A couple guys were very inefficient, as we see with Dylan, 2 and 9 in that game. But they hit the shots that mattered, and Fred hit. I mean, of course, he come down, hit a big three, of course, right? Fred kind of shot chucking just a little bit, and then a couple plays later, Jalen drives the defense, and then immediately gets that driving kick pass. Fred hits it. Nice to see it. Love to see it. Growth as a playmaker for sure, and as a player in general. Ryan, what else you got on this game?
We've been in the clutch too many times. We've had a lead every single game, at least more than 10, some games 20. In every game, it has come down to the clutch. And who takes off in the clutch? Jalen Green.
Why is he wearing number 4?
Fourth quarter, man.
Fourth quarter Jalen, baby. JG full for a reason.
He turns up in the fourth quarter every game. And I saw a post from Brad today. It was on IG. And it said that Jalen Green hasn't had a fourth quarter yet this season where he scored under 10 points. I'm not sure if this is correct, but Jalen Green has to have the most points in the clutch this season so far, or close to it. I mean, he's got to be up there. I mean, he's carrying us on his back.
His back's hurting, for sure.
And the thing that really stood out to me, Amen Thompson's shot last night in the clutch, fadeaway mid-range. Who would have thought? Not me.
Yeah, we will definitely get on to the Mavs game here in a second. But I do have one more thing on this game that I want to point out is that Wemby, he got caught slipping a little bit. Now Jalen may have missed the shot,
Yeah.
but I mean, I want Jalen taking shots, bro. When he's taking this amount of shots and he's going off like that, we're winning games. I'm all for it. Now, one other thing, again, before we get going on, like I said, the glaze is going to be nonstop tonight. But something else is, it seemed like they were running away from Jalen. They was running away, bro. They couldn't stay with him. He was blown past guys left and right in that pick and roll. And the second Steven Adams was on the court, it seemed like he was just able to go crazy. And then I think, am I wrong? Was this the game he had that big dunk where Jeremy Sohan was in the way? Or was that the loss? I don't know.
I think it was the second game. I don't think. Yeah.
I thought so. Yeah.
I don't think he played in the first game.
Gotcha.
No, we didn't.
Okay, cool. And that's something to look out for too. So Spurs Nation.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
We don't care. Get out of here, Spurs Nation. I'm sorry. Get out of here. All y'all in the comments, I'm tired of it. Y'all was on the Rockets round robin talking about, Spurs. Yeah, y'all gone. But let's move on to a new game, right? The game we played last night where Mr. Fourth Quarter took over. Once again, Jalen Green. This was, as Ryan said, in the clutch yet again against the Mavericks, 108-102. I really want to say maybe this solidifies us as the best team in the West. This will be an agenda push later on for sure. But let's go in reverse order. Ryan, break this game down, baby.
Okay, well, obviously, first half we had control the entire game. Came out. Let me check my article from last night quickly because I'm pretty sure that we ended shooting like 20% better than them in the first quarter.
We were hot in that first quarter.
I meant first half. Yeah, first half. Dylan Brooks, I think he had 11. I mean, phenomenal game from him yesterday, all around defense, offense. He was amazing for us. I'm pretty sure we had 24 rebounds to Dallas's 16 in the first half as well. I mean, we just outperformed them entirely. But come second half, we fell apart.
Yeah, I mean, the second Kyrie's on the court, he starts going off.
This is very, very bad.
I started getting scared. I won't even lie. I saw Kyrie just start going off in that third quarter there. I think he had 15 of his 24 at one point in the fourth quarter, just in that third quarter alone. Not a fan. And something I want to say is maybe coach remembers. I was talking about the defensive lineups, right? I said Fred needs to be on Kyrie, Dylan needs to be on Luka, and Jalen needs to be on Clay, and force Clay to be whatever he's going to be, right? Because you're not beating him off the dribble anymore, right? With Jalen as being as tentative on defense as he was. And Donte, what they do? They did that exact defensive matchup that I said. I called this out. I felt so good about it. We forced Clay into some tough shots. I don't think he hit many threes. I think he hit 2 threes that game.
He hit 2 threes, and I think he finished 2 for 7. But those 2 threes he hit were in the clutch.
Yeah.
And I strongly dislike Klay Thompson with a passion.
Yeah, boy. I started getting scared, man. I mean, the second Klay Thompson was out there, I was like, yeah, not. But Donte, bro, give me your thoughts on the game.
Oh man, like I really believe last night, like the Rockets played some great defense. I mean, some of those shots that Kyrie, Klay Thompson, Luka was hitting. I mean, those just great players. That's great offense, man. You talking about the shot in the corner before the buzzer in the fourth quarter that Kyrie hit in the corner in front of the Mavs bench. I don't know how many people could make that type of shot right there. The shot that Luka had made, I believe, over Dylan Brooks, great defense, but the jab step just got him off, just got him leaning a little bit, and he pops a three. Then I think it was a three. It was the second three that Klay Thompson hit. He grabbed the ball immediately with a hand in his face and made the shot. But again, we did dominate the game throughout until the fourth quarter. You got to expect a good team like Dallas to make a run, especially when you have Luka and Kyrie. They're going to make a run. Again, I'm gonna go back to I think it was
Wait.
Then we was up 80. I think we was up 11 points. They got the lead down to 11. We called a timeout, and Jabari Smith hits a big three to make it 91-77. I believe that was he lost some momentum at that point of time. But then again, Jalen Green hits a timely 3-pointer, 1-0, making 103-97. But the shot that got everybody going, getting fouled and making that reverse tough layup, man, that was crazy. Man, that was the craziest shot, man, right there. But I thought our defense, again, was really good on Dallas, holding a good team like that to 102 points. Amin Thompson, I thought he played some great defense on Luka, man. He made him work for a lot of
Luka started 0 for 3 against him.
He made some great – he made him work for it. And him shooting that fadeaway with the shot clock running down, that was cold-blooded. But I thought our defense was really, really actually good in this game, man, holding the team like that to 102 points. Without being efficient from the three-pointer. And again, man, like I say, man, I'm just very proud of how good this team played. And we didn't turn the ball over that much. We got 10. We had 10 turnovers. They had 10 turnovers, but we didn't turn the ball over like that. But other than that, I thought we played very good on defense, man. We played very well on defense.
Something that I noticed on our defensive side is Kyrie started getting hot. I think he hit a three, and then he had it was either mid-range or like a jelly layup. I don't know. At some point, I think it was going into the second or going into third.
Ryan, this is for you.
Shout out. So if Jock Landale scores anything, it's 20 in any games. You know what?
Get it on the pod, baby. If Jock scores over 20,
we will screen share on the pod, and I will do it.
Word. Clip it.
Clip it. But okay, no. What I was saying is that Kyrie started getting hot, and something that really stood out to me is the way that the Rockets contained him. Udoka had I think it was Jalen Green. He had it was Amen Thompson, and it was Fred VanVleet, and he had Amen Thompson run out to the top of the key to double Kyrie and trap him, and he just didn't get hot from there on. And that's something that really stood out to me. I mean, the way that we were containing their best players was phenomenal.
I really want to say the biggest momentum shift there that in our favor towards the clutch was that Jalen Green block on Kyrie, bro. How often do you see Kyrie get blocked first? And two,
and he swatted that too.
He swatted that hard as hell. But yeah, Lachard, bro, I think we broke it down pretty well here. But give me your thoughts, give me your expertise on this one. What else stood out to you?
Well, I mean, like I was saying, definitely Jalen. But to me, like the turning point was when they brought back in Amin and Tari to finish off the game because as we saw, Jabari was struggling a little bit. Alperen was struggling in that fourth quarter. So when they brought in that small lineup, to me, that kind of changed the game. It made it a lot easier for Jalen to be able to get to the basket. And if you look at the numbers, Amin and Tari both by themselves outscored the entire Mavericks bench, like 25-21. So to me, that was kind of the turning point because they bring so much energy. They're so versatile, and they just kind of, bring up the defensive intensity of the entire team because like we were talking about earlier with Şengün, when he's struggling a little bit, especially when he's hesitant, and of course he's still not able to stretch the floor. And also with Jabari, he missed a few shots in that fourth quarter. So I will give it to MA when it comes to everybody but Fred. He will put them on the bench. Everybody but Fred.
I've been saying that the whole time. Fred is the only one up on the bench, regardless.
And I would say the reason why with that is just real quickly on that, just because he has that much confidence that Fred is still going to make the right play, even though he couldn't hit the ocean from the beach last night. He still believes he will make the right play, and that's why it kind of keeps him in. But I know they want to limit his minutes. He played almost 40 minutes again last night, and he was struggling trying to score in the paint against like Dallas's link, like Lively and Gafford. But just overall, the Tari and Amen, to me, other than Jalen, were the biggest reason why they won that game.
Yeah,
100%.
Lachard, I just want to kind of back off what you're saying about when they put in Tari and Amen at the end.
Yeah.
Because I think the Mavericks, they didn't have Luka in the lineup. They didn't have Gafford in the lineup. And they didn't have Lively in the lineup either, all because they were in foul trouble with 4 fouls. Forgot who was in their lineup, but I know all 3 of them weren't. And so Tari took on defending Klay Thompson, and he contained Klay really well until Klay started hitting those shots. Just complete luck.
Sometimes it's you just kind of laugh. You know, like it's like, yeah, it's Klay. You know, what do he hit his 25th?
It's Klay against the Rockets. You have to go into the game understanding that he's going to hit crazy shots for no reason, that he's not hitting against any other team.
And honestly, this is probably the best defense they played against Luka, even though he did 12 for 25. Just overall, they made him work for everything. Usually, I would say the last 6 or 7 games, he scored at least 30 points against the Rockets almost every single game. So the fact that they were able to hold him to under 30 points, and he had to work for everything he got, even though the one shot where they said Ahmed fouled him from behind, he actually was a clean block. I mean, just that play alone just shows you how versatile Ahmed is, that he's able to get around two picks and still be able to get back and get that chase down block. I don't think he's not used to seeing that from the Rockets defense, especially since he came in the league in 2018.
He also just reads the floor so well for a sophomore who can play the guard position and that dunking spot, because I think it was Fred and Amen last night, late in the 3rd or 4th. And Amen was in the corner and he saw Fred getting trapped almost at half court and decided to run, and Fred threw up a lob. And then he got fouled by Lively, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then hit 2 clutch free throws.
Yeah, clutch free throws from Amen, who's not a shooter, which is.
I mean, again, last night, I mean, it was great. I mean, like he said, it was some Rockets play some great defense. I mean, Luka and Kyrie, they're gonna make shots. They're gonna make tough shots, and they worked for their shots last night. Boy,
not against Tari or Amen, they won't.
Every fadeaway, you know, that they shot, it was a hand in their face. But the Kyrie shot, you know, like I said, after he hit that shot from the corner, I'm like, I can't be mad at that. I mean, great defense. I mean, fading away in the corner and do a buzzer. I mean, you knew that guy was hot, gonna be hot from here on out. But when you hit that tough shot, but our defense was great last night. Our defense was really good.
Something I will say here about our young duo again between Jalen and Şengün, they both had 12 rebounds and 17 plus points in this game, combining for a total of 40 points in their minutes played, 24 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 blocks on plus 22 in the game. Beautiful. We won by 6. They combined for a plus 22. Love it.
We should have won by at least 10.
We should have won by more.
But we beat Dallas. That's what matters.
That's what matters. That's what matters. So this begs the question, guys. We're getting hot, right? We're getting sizzling here. We're 3-2 with the record in the West right now. I think we're sitting at the 5th spot, 4th spot, 5th spot. Top 6 right now is what we're sitting at, like last year. And you know, is Houston one of the best teams in Texas? Finally, are we the best team? I mean, right now Jalen's averaging 28.
Here, look, I will answer this. We are blowing leads. It doesn't matter if we contain the lead and we win by 6. We are still blowing leads. You are not a winning team if you cannot hold your lead, and you cannot play a full 4 quarters. Last night was the closest to a full 4 quarters we've seen from Houston all season, and it still wasn't a great full 4 quarters. They still let the lead slip a bit. And even if they held the lead the entire game, they still should have held it at least by more than 10 once they were up 20.
What were we up at one point? 22?
23, I'm pretty sure. And we won by 6. That's the story of the season so far. Now, would you still say that we're one of the best teams in the league when there's teams that can hold a lead?
Is any team really going crazy like that at this moment besides the Celtics, I guess? I mean, you're looking at other great teams right now that have great players on them. Like, I don't know, what's a shit show? Let me just say, I don't know, maybe the Milwaukee Bucks. Just, you know, throwing that out there. Or, you know, another good team that's supposed to be phenomenal at this point, but hasn't lived up to expectations. The last couple of games have been Yeah, from the Lakers, right? And the Phoenix Suns have been, I think, solid, but they've also been giving up leads.
I'm gonna just say that now against Charlotte and San Antonio, against Charlotte that was awful, unacceptable. You can't lose a 20.
Yeah, I mean that was
like Mr. Binkley said, like how I've been preaching. If you're gonna play a team like Charlotte, San Antonio, you play Detroit, Brooklyn, those are teams you supposed to beat. Those are teams you got to beat the teams you supposed to beat. We supposed to run right through Charlotte, but give credit to Charlotte. They fought back. They got back in the game. They won the game.
Great man.
Now San Antonio,
Allen Iverson.
Now San Antonio, we supposed to beat them by probably more, but I'm happy that we finally pulled it out because that also shows great teams find a way to win games anyway it goes. No matter if the game is close, they find a way to win them. They find a way to win them.
Say it, Donte.
Dallas, that's a good team, so you got to expect them to get on.
Right, exactly. And I'm not discrediting the fact that we won. I'm just saying we should have won by more.
You know, and like, yeah, we can say we're supposed to win by this much or this much and this much, but this ain't the 90s. You know, you can be up 10, you can be up 30. We've seen in games and still lose, right? I mean, think back to the Clippers and Chris Paul,
and that's why Michael Jordan is the GOAT, because this ain't the 90s.
Well, and the Rockets don't have a lot of margin for error. Just be honest, they don't have a lot of players that can create their own shot. They can't make mistakes. They can't go out there and be lackadaisical. They're not a good enough team to where they can just blow people out just by just coming onto the court and people getting scared of them. Like, they're not Boston. They're not even the Thunder this year. I mean, the Thunder is undefeated. They haven't lost again. They're 4-0.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not that type of team that's going to go out there and they're going to scare people and they're going to not want to play them. That's just not the way they are. So they have to go out there and they have to be on every single night because, again, Jalen Green is getting to that all-star level, but up until this season, the Rockets haven't had an all-star since James Harden. So they're still at that point now. They got to be able to they have to be on every night. That's what Ime would be talking about. He was saying, like, we're a team that has to be ready every single night. We can't just roll the ball out there and expect teams to roll over. That's just especially against Dallas, because we know what happened last year in Dallas when they were up 22 points and Dallas came back and beat them in overtime. So I can't exactly say I was shocked that Dallas came back. I was actually more encouraged that the Rockets were able to hold on because
thank you.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought it was gonna go the other way. Once they hit that three, you're having flashbacks to last year. So this is definitely a step in the right direction.
Once he put the 3-point, thank God Jalen came back and made that tough three while the shot clock was going down and put it 103 to 107. Because I said the same thing. I said the same thing. Clay hit that three. I'm like, we lost. We took they for the game for the turn, take a turn. And then Jalen hits that 3-pointer. That made us relax a little bit more. Then came right back down and hits that tough little reverse and one. Yeah, that made us feel really comfortable that we got the game right there.
I want to throw a question out there because another thing that stood out to me last night was Reed Shepherd, and I don't think he played more than like 10, 13, 15 minutes, but
5 minutes. 5.5 minutes.
In those 5.5 minutes, in one of the first plays he had the ball, he was getting trapped just in front of the half court. And I think something that stood out to me about that play was just seeing like it was almost testing his comfort as a rookie, because we've seen that he's a super comfortable for a rookie. But since the season started, obviously he's not looking as comfortable. But I think that really tested him. That's something that stood out to me. I don't know. I'm just curious about what y'all think of Reed Shepherd this season, because again, he's just a rookie. He said he wants to learn, and he is exactly what Imo Udoka wants. He wants a player that's going to go out there and fight every game.
Yeah, I think with Reed, I just think overall he's going to have trouble getting on the court. The Rockets just have so many good players, and then when you have Jalen starting to run a lot of the backup point guard
and getting really hot.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for Reed to get on. Not to say that he's not going to have games where he plays 20-plus minutes. He's going to have those games, but just overall, it's really going to come down to him and Cam, who's going to take that step forward, because those two guys are really the ones fighting for minutes. Tari Eason is going to get his minutes. Aman's going to get his minutes. Those are the two main guys off the bench. It's really going to come down to who's going to be better, Reed or Cam, because those two guys are really the ones competing for the minutes, because Fred's still going to play 35 minutes a game. Jalen's going to be playing 30-plus minutes a game. So those two guys are really going to be the ones fighting for those minutes, because outside of that, I mean, where else will Reed even get those minutes is other than playing in front of Cam? So that's going to be kind of an interesting thing to see how it plays out the rest of the year, because they both have deficiencies that they have to get by. So it kind of really comes down to who's going to be the guy to kind of step forward, as the season goes on.
And one thing about deficiencies quickly is Cam Whitmore finally hit his first 3 of the season.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have been
That was
waiting.
a crazy 3 he hit too, by the way. All the confidence in the world, and he decides to. I don't know. I love Cam, bro.
I think those were since the second game of the preseason or whatever.
Yeah.
He finally went out and hit some threes, man.
Yeah, when Cam never swing the rock Whitmore out there. I mean, every time, and that's cool. I want that man to shoot, right? The thing is, it's not that he's taking bad shots either. He's just missing the shots we're supposed to make, right? He's missing the shots he was making last year.
Preston, would you say that Cam Whitmore's first made 3 last night was a good shot?
I'm not saying it's a high IQ play, but
for Cam it is.
Yeah, any shot that goes in is a good shot.
Making a contested shot, yep, that is. That's pretty decent.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, taking a contested step back shot when you're 0% from 3 on the season is a great shot.
Yo, look, at the end of the day,
it went in and we won.
Skip's been coming. He's gonna continue to come,
bro.
and people just need to get over that.
Yeah, Cam Whitmore. He's just gonna keep shooting. He's gonna keep shooting, no matter who's shooting, and people are just gonna have to get over it. I love it. That's why I got the sound, baby. That's why we're here, man. But look. At the end of the day, it was nice to see Cam do that 3. Again, it was a little while, and I was like, dang, he really pulling that. But it went in, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We all good. And I don't know. Another thing that I'm interested in is what are some issues that Şengün has been having? And maybe Lachard can speak to this specifically. Obviously, he's faced some big, tougher matchups out there, but he has yet to have, I would say, an Alperen Şengün game, right? I will say it looks like he's way more aggressive on the rebounds, way more aggressive on the boards. And I think some of that physicality is getting to him a little bit. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but what are your thoughts on Şengün thus far in the season, and what can we expect going forward?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. He had a really good game against Charlotte the first game. Then he went up against Victor Wembanyama, who's 7'4", freak athlete, can do kind of everything on the defensive end. So I'm not exactly shocked that he was struggling, even though we all kind of go back to last year when he had his career game against him. But just overall, most people are going to struggle against Victor Wembanyama. So can't say I'm exactly surprised about that. Last night, like I say, he did get on the boards. It's kind of funny. He's either hesitating too much or he's going too fast. It's not really a middle ground right now for Şengün. And also it could possibly be he's maybe injured, even though I haven't heard anything about that, but it's kind of been floating around social media that he may be dealing with some back issues. But again, I haven't heard anything kind of confirming that. I think really right now he's kind of just trying to fit in, because this is a different team. This ain't the same team that he played with before he got hurt in March of last season. Now this is a team that kind of wants to play at a faster pace. This is a team that goes to Jalen Green even more now. So now he's trying to find his place in a brand new team, a totally different team than the same team he saw last year back in March when he last played with him. So it's kind of like a combination of different things. I think Şengün is going to be fine. He's too good of a player not to figure it out. And next game would be the perfect game to do it, because I mean, even though Golden State in the past have been one of the better defensive teams, they're not that same team now. They don't really have a guy in the middle that can even contend with Şengün. Even if they try to put Draymond on him one-on-one, that's just not going to work. He's still going to be able to get a shot. He's still getting the shots that he wants. It's just that he's just not making them at the basket. He's getting exactly what he wants. So I don't think you could be too overly concerned with Şengün. Again, you would like to see him still expanding out his game. He is trying to take more outside shots, even though the results still have been mixed at best. So it's still kind of a work in progress for Şengün. I just think that the fact that Jalen is taking on more of the offense, I think that's the bigger, not necessarily issue, but that's the thing that Şengün is just going to have to adjust to, because if Jalen becomes the guy on the team, then everybody else is going to have to kind of fall in line to what Jalen is doing. So I think it's just right now, it's just more about adjustment than anything Şengün is doing wrong.
Yeah,
okay,
I agree.
I just have a quick question for you, right? So do you think that Jalen Green and Alperen Şengün can coexist together on the same team if they're not both playing at star level?
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, some people may say no, they can't, because Şengün needs to be under the basket and Jalen needs to have the space to operate. But again, that's the job of Ime and his coaching staff. When you have two really good players, you need to figure that out. I mean, yes, Şengün should be able to. It will help a lot if he can spread the floor, but that's just not his game right now. So it just really comes down to the coaching staff has to figure out a way to get them both on the same level. Now, I think they can do that. You need to run a lot more. They haven't ran as much as they did in previous years, like two-man game with Jalen and Alperin. I think that would definitely help both players. But again, I think they're trying to just adjust to, Jalen taking on more of the offensive role than he did. Because remember, at the beginning of last year, we weren't seeing this Jalen Green. Actually, beginning of his entire career to start seasons, we weren't seeing this type of Jalen Green game. So this is an adjustment for everybody on the team. I mean, you see Fred VanVleet, he's taking a back seat now to Jalen. Jalen's doing a lot of the ball handling throughout the game. So it's an adjustment for the entire team. And I think they both can coexist on the same team. Now, can both of them be 25-point a game scorers and, all-star level? That might be a question for another day. But can they both be really good on the same team at the same time? I think they can.
That's a good way to put it. And at the end of the day, what the coaching staff is going to do. That was a good answer because Ime, I don't know defensively, right?
Preston, your audio.
Oh.
It's not. Your audio's kind of it's lagging, bro.
You guys continue then while I fix this.
Okay, yeah. So I guess just going off Alperin Şengün, something that's standing out to me this season, he's shooting 37% from the field.
Yeah,
he's shooting better from three-pointer than he is just in general. I would do anything to have that turned around because I'd rather see him dominate in the paint and dominate in the post and just shoot a three and make it.
True.
I mean, that 37% is just, it needs to improve.
Yeah, I mean, I think the same issue with him is what we're seeing with Jabari, right? Just not hitting the shots that they usually have been hitting. Jabari looks like he's added some muscle, and then I think Şengün working out all offseason, I think is maybe affecting the differences.
I was thinking the same thing yesterday.
Yeah, I want to say, I'm not going to say for sure, nothing's guaranteed in life except, taxes, right? But unless you're rich. But we're looking at like the respectful area of Şengün should be hitting some of these shots. He's just not got that perfect touch because, I mean, some of the flips and things that he's doing, you have to have like this graceful touch. And, I mean, he looks a little bit stronger, right? Looks a little bit bigger. We're seeing him be more aggressive on the rebound. So I think he's just got to find that intermediate spot of making the shots and when and what to do it, especially playing at this high pace offense, and when to slow the tempo down versus speeding up as well. I think this is I think Lachard broke it down pretty well. I'm just repeating him here, but just being able to really find their own way in this unique offense led by Ime, which I'm on board for saying he needs to get an offensive coordinator. I've been seeing that a little bit on Twitter and whatnot. And I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I think it makes sense for him to have someone who can dictate and assist on the offensive end a little bit more rather than him worrying about both, because on the defensive end, he's still 9th, 8th in the defensive rating. And our defense has been kind of mid, right? We've seen some lapses and we're like, oh my gosh, this is so terrible. Again, like that third quarter, we would honestly probably be top 3 defense in the entire league, ratings wise, if we were, following through in that third quarter. But those are just my thoughts on that.
Yeah, and just real quick, another thing that will help Şengün is he's getting double teamed more than he has in his entire career. So that's another thing he's struggling with. And I think it would help if, the Rockets actually start hitting some of their threes. They did a little bit better last night, but in previous games, they really struggled from the 3-point range. And if you're another team, would you double team Şengün and leave people wide open that can't hit 3-pointers? I think I would. I would continue to do that until they prove they can hit those shots. So I think that'll help Şengün as well, because we all know once you're getting double teamed almost every play, that makes it a lot harder for you to get your own shot. So it's like I said, it's a combination of things, and we're only 5 games in. So now if we get to 15, 20 games in and Şengün's still only shooting like 40% from the field, then you got to start worrying, because that's a quarter of the season right there, or almost a quarter of the season. So that's when you start to worry, because players have droughts throughout the season where it could be the middle of February and he has a 4 or 5 bad game stretch. But when you start getting a 15, 20 games, then that's when you really have to start worrying, like, okay, what exactly is going on?
100%. That's definitely kind of what we're looking forward to. Again, it's 5 games in. There's no panic button even in sight right now. We're just this is Rockets basketball. Jalen's playing well, and there's a lot to like, especially with Şengün and his rebounding too. And then the obvious growth we've seen from Amen and Tari especially, man. I know Dylan is going to start until he's traded, if he's traded at all. But, I mean, Tari is just looking at that 3 spot, man, right now. He's looking his chops, bro. He deserves it for sure. Yeah. And I'm excited to see what happens going forward. Now, before we move on potentially to the final topic, the little sizzly thing I have going on here, is anything else on this topic of Jalen and all that before I move on? We all good? We straight? Boom, 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 boom. Cool. All right, Donte, do you have any words on that? I don't know. He's been so quiet down there. Sometimes I get scared.
Nah, I'm good. We can move on. I'm straight. Everybody, we all touched on it.
Cool. Okay. All right. So last thing here, we've got 2 writers in the room. Ryan and Lachard here, and then 2 big fans in the room between Donte and I. Milwaukee looks like shit. They're looking like garbage. Dame shot 8% last night, as per usual. And I don't know. I'm looking at Milwaukee as like a team that's getting ready to maybe make some decisions. Chris Middleton is not looking phenomenal. No one on the bench is looking great. What's the dude's name? AJ Green, I think, is one of the younger players.
On the Bucks, yeah.
Yeah, he's not looking.
Like Jalen Green's like stepbrother or brother or something?
Maybe.
That's a good question mark. I'm thinking of someone else on the Bucks, maybe.
Maybe I got no clue. Yeah. I hear those.
Yeah. Oh, AJ Johnson. Yeah.
AJ Johnson. All right. AJ Johnson's on the Bucks.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Okay. Anyway, I just don't see a clear direction for the Bucks right now if this continues. Right. They fired the head coach last year at 32-14. Fell completely short in the playoffs due to injuries. Right. They both their star players got hurt, unfortunately. And then they did not work at all. They didn't work out together at all during the entire offseason. Giannis was in Greece. Dame tried to get in contact and go to Greece. There was nothing that could have been made. Giannis didn't come to America to come work out with Dame. And it's pretty obvious on the court. And sure, Giannis is putting up 30. He's just Giannis Antetokounmpo. There's not much you can do about that. And Dame, he's had quite a few good games here. I think he's had 3 solid games where he's put up 25 plus on mid efficiency, right? But we're looking at it like, is this pairing not working out at all? I just don't see it. They're hunting Dame on the pick and roll right now. I don't know if you guys have watched much Milwaukee games, but I'm looking at Giannis, seeing maybe if he's wanting to ask out. Now, on the top of his thing, on a report came up from CBS Sports on NBA Central, not Central guys, just to be sure, on Twitter, saying that Giannis is he's got the Heat and Brooklyn Nets as like his top picks. I see the Heat as a real team that he might want to go to. But yeah, there's no way he wants to go to the Brooklyn Nets. There's nothing there for him, man. And I really think it's maybe Brooklyn kind of pushing a minor narrative at this point, like, hey, we're trying to operate. We have nothing over here. Please come. We got Cam Thomas, I guess. And I don't know. I'm just interested to see if there's anything that's going to turn out from this. And I want to know your guys' thoughts. If there's a will, there's a way. Is Giannis Antetokounmpo a Houston Rocket? Right?
No.
Like, he's worked out with Hakeem. He kind of low-key likes Houston. He likes it out here.
If you want to give up all your young players, I'm sure they'll do that.
I mean,
look, you would have to give up probably Jalen and Alpern for them to do a trade. Honestly,
you think you'd have
I don't know, Cam. We can convince them for Cam, right?
Cam, Jabari, Amen.
Yeah, we got plenty of guys, and then we've got not Tari. We'll keep Tari. But we got Mama Eason. I'm not gonna piss her off, right? That's one lady I don't want to piss off on Twitter. We got all these Suns picks, and we still got some picks and whatnot. I mean, if they're looking to if Giannis is truly really not happy, right? He could just say he doesn't want to play, right? He could just pull a James Harden, and I'm not saying that he's going to, or he could pull a Ben Simmons and say his back hurt, right? Whatever happens at the end of the day, we'll see like what happens. But it could be realistic. Will we have to give up a lot? Yeah, for sure. How many players out of the young core are going to be as good, projected to be as good, or better than Giannis Antetokounmpo is today?
Well, projected 0. I mean,
yeah.
Giannis is one of the best players in the league. I mean, you never know, but I mean,
know.
I mean, if we're being honest, I mean, it's Giannis. You know,
yep.
I won't say I seriously doubt, but just looking at it logically, then no.
I strongly dislike the thought of Giannis in Houston.
Why is that?
Because I'm a James Harden fan.
I respect it, bro. I mean, me too. I mean, I got the jersey framed right there, actually.
But like, also because I think it just like obviously Ime Udoka is a win now coach. He wants to win. There's been rumors about Jimmy Butler coming to Houston as well, and I think that if we do want, why don't you share your opinion, Lachard?
I see the veins popping up right there.
That's a horrible idea. He can't stay healthy. He's from Tomball, not Houston. He lets us know every single time, every chance he gets. But no, just to me, he's an older player. He's past his prime. He's basically every single year he's missing. I'm not talking about just rest days. He's missing like 10, 20, 30 games in a season. And then it's the same thing. Pat Riley's definitely not going to give Jimmy Butler without you giving up several of your players. Mm-hmm. And I just don't see that I don't see him putting the Rockets over the top if you have to give up, let's say, Amen, and you have to give up Alperin or whoever they're going to ask for. It just doesn't seem like he's the type of player that I'm going to do that type of trade. Now, if you're talking about, like you were talking about with Giannis, that makes sense. I mean, Giannis is still – I don't know if Giannis even got to his prime yet, but Jimmy Butler is past his prime at this point, and I just don't see how he can make the Rockets that much better, considering what you would have to give up to get him.
I guess that's kind of the thing with me and Giannis, right? Obviously, Lachard said Giannis might have not even hit his prime yet, but I would rather, from a fan perspective, I would rather see the young core develop together and see what can happen.
Yeah.
Aside from just wanting to win now, because growing up as a Rockets fan, I went through the whole golden era of watching the rivalry versus the Warriors to we've completely broken down and now we're rebuilding. And I want to see what comes out of that rebuild. But if I'm talking from a non-fan perspective and I want to win now, yeah, I do it. But at what cost?
Yeah, and I think it's obvious the cost is going to be high, right? You're trading for – people might not like what I'm going to say there. You're trading for the LeBron right now of the 2020s, right? And to a lesser extent. And I mean, Giannis, 2 MVPs, a deep wave, right? A champion, regardless of how I got it. And even though I've said many times on here that I disagree of all this stuff, but let's just stop that noise, right? Giannis is a good player. He's been phenomenal. He's a proven winner time and time again. I mean, he took the Boston Celtics a couple years ago when they went to the finals in 22. Literally nobody on that Bucks team, and he took them to 7 games, right? And I mean, that's all she wrote, right? I think comes down to what are we willing to give up? What's Milwaukee asking for, and how much leverage in either situation does Milwaukee hold all the cards? Because anyone in the league would answer a phone call if it's Milwaukee's GM saying, "Hey, we're interested in a trade," right? I think everyone's picking up the phone for that. Besides maybe the Nuggets, but every team, all 28 other teams are answering that call for sure. I don't know. I don't know. I think Giannis makes sense though. But as AK said on the Rockets round robin, I think it only truly makes sense if he's coming here to play center. So I think I'll leave it at that. Donte been quiet. He don't look like he like any of this conversation right now.
Because again, I'm not last. So I think we touched on it last night as well. That I want to see what our young core can build together. I mean, Ime Udoka did come out and say that he wants to win as well. I actually think we can win with this young core, with Jalen Green being our best player 5 games in the season. And again, I think LP is going to be a very good. I think he's going to have some games when he's stepping up. He's too good of a player, not to. Right now, he's going through a struggle, but I believe he'll get up out of it. I just want to see what we can do with this young core. I just don't want to move on from it so fast. I just don't want to move on from it.
I'm with Donte.
Like I say, if it's open, and we do it, then we just do it. But this young core, I'm satisfied with this young core that we got.
For sure. I mean, I'm also kind of looking at it like to a lesser extent with different pieces, but the James Harden move to Houston, right? We want to avoid being an OKC 2.0. If we've got some guys here that can really blow up and flourish, potentially be all-stars, right? I mean, you're looking at, between Cam and Amen, the potential, we'd like to not, have that happen again. Or at least on OKC's side, right? We don't want to repeat their mistakes of the past. But on that note, I think that's a good note to leave it end on. So let's start with it. Lachard, bro, tell us where you're from. Where can we find you, man? I'm always searching for you on Twitter. What's up?
Well, you can find me on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. You can find me there at Binkley Hoops. Of course, I'm the host of Rocket Fuel Podcast. You can find me at Sports Illustrated as well. And I'll be out at tomorrow's game. So if anybody's out there and they happen to see me, definitely come by and say hi. But yeah, definitely you can always find me at any of those places. And I appreciate y'all having me back on.
Hey, man, it's a pleasure to have you on, man. Thank you for making time on your busy Rocket schedule to pop out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No problem.
Thank you, brother. Donte, bro, where can we find you?
Y'all can find me at Coach Donte on YouTube. Y'all can also find me at Coach Donte31 on X as well. Coach Donte5 on Instagram. Y'all can find me right here. Y'all find me right here on the HtownRundown and the Houston Rockets round robin. Y'all can find me pretty much all over the place.
Absolutely. And last but not least, Ryan, bro, where can we find you?
You can find me at Ryan Diamond 15 on Instagram, at Ryan Diamond 15 on Twitter. You can find me at On Rockets on Sports Illustrated. I feel like I'm missing. Oh, y'all can find me on the HtownRundown podcast, and y'all can find me on Rockets Round Robin podcast.
Bro forgot the most important one. The podcast he's talking on, bro.
My fault.
He's goofy. And then be sure to follow at the HtownRundown, at the HtownRundown on X, Instagram. Be sure to check out YouTube, man. I want your guys' thoughts on the year 2 Ime stint, or give me your thoughts on some of the things going on with Giannis in Milwaukee. Is there possible that we can really get him? What are your thoughts on trades? Run the Fanspo trade machine and send us your trade thoughts, man. I'm interested to talk more about that. I'm pushing the train, baby. I want Giannis in Houston, but that's just me. Apparently, it's just me. Now, be sure to follow me at drip2ps_GAWD on X, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you for watching, listening, and joining us on a Friday afternoon. We should be on the Rockets round robin tomorrow. I believe Rockets have a game against Golden State, right? Tomorrow. Golden State, baby. We got to beat Golden State. No Curry, no problem.
No play.
No Curry. No Clay, no problem. No Kevin Durant. No nonsense. No nonsense. Thank you for watching. See you.
Hey.
Out.